Hello everyone. So through this session we are going to start your second book, It So Happened, and we are going to do the very first chapter of it, and the chapter is How the Camel Got Its Hump. So actually it's a folk tale. Folk tale, you understand, a tale or a story which is just prevail in a particular area or which is somewhere related to some particular time. So such kinds of story which we listen from our ancestors and which go through generations after generations, such kinds of stories are called folk tale. So the same folk tale is here, how the camel got his hump. So let's begin with this. When you will open the very first chapter of your book, It So Happened, so you will get some introduction about this, about the story. And in introduction only it is given that the world had just begun. It was the beginning of the world only. And the animals were working for humans. And that time when the world had begun, that time animals used to be the pet of human and they used to work for humans. Somewhere they were the servants of human. Human were that time large buildings, they have a strong body, something like that. So they used to carry each kind of animal easily. So in this first line it is given. Then in second one you will come to know that there was one lazy animal. Now who was that lazy animal? He was no other than a camel. Okay, and he does not want to do any of the work. Whenever anyone used to ask him to do any work, he used to say just hum, nothing else. Like we used to say no, or we just give any signal like that, that we are not interested in doing your work. So this was the signal from the camel. He used to say hum, and then means he is denying to do work. Further, a jinn is also there, that even the clever jinn was at his wit's end. So a jinn is there in the story who just sorted out everything. Alright, so I am beginning with the very first paragraph of this chapter. In the beginning, when the world was new and the animals were just beginning to work for man, there was a camel. And he lived in the middle of a howling desert. Why he used to live in the middle of the howling desert? Because he does not want to do work. He used to live in the middle only and used to sit there only. Further they are saying that he ate sticks, thorns and prickles, whatever was available there in the desert. And when anybody spoke to him, he said hump, just hump and no more. So it was somewhere his pet word. Okay, so he used to sit in the middle. Why? Because he does not want to do work. What he used to eat? He used to eat sticks, thorns and prickles. These things I am telling you from the comprehension purpose. And further, if anyone used to ask him to do any work, he used to say hump. Okay. Further they are saying, presently the horse came to him on Monday morning with a saddle on his back and said, Camel, oh camel, come out and trot like the rest of us. So students, you will see further in this story that many of the animals, they used to frequently go to the camel. And why? Because they also want that like them, camel should also work. Okay, so first of all, who went? A horse went there. And he said, the horse is having a saddle. Saddle, you understand, on which whenever we used to go with a horse riding, so a kind of cloth used to be there, and in that cloth there are some kinds of earrings where we used to fix our feet. So that is called saddle. Okay, so on the horse there was a saddle, and what did he say to camel? That come, camel, and just trot like rest of us. Trotting is the way of walking of horse. So he knows that only. So he is asking to do that also for the camel. So means in a way he is just asking the camel to do work. Then humph, said the camel, and the horse went away and told the man. So as according to his habit, the camel, he said hump. The horse went away from him, and then he told the person there who sent the horse to the camel. Presently the dog came to him with a stick in his mouth. So these things are showing that saddle, that stick in mouth in the dog. These are showing that they all animals were working for the humans. Okay, so a dog came and there was a stick in dog's mouth. And he said, "Camel, oh camel, come and fetch and carry like the rest of us." So what was the work of the dog? To fetch and carry the things for man. So he said, "Camel, come with us and fetch and carry the things like me." Hump sat the camel and the dog went away and told the man. So he repeated the same. He said Hump to dog also. Further what happened? Presently the ox came to him with a yoke on his neck and said, "Camel, O camel, come and plow like the rest of." So Hump said the camel and the ox went away and told the man. So the camel had done the same with the ox even. Then further what happened? At the end of the day, the man called the horse, the dog and the ox together and said, "Three, O three." Who three are mentioned here? The ox, the horse and the dog. "Three, O three, I'm very sorry for you. I'm feeling bad for you. I'm very sorry for you. But that hump thing in the desert can't work." Hump thing, who is the hump thing? That camel. So he is saying that only that time the name of the camel was not mentioned there, because only that who is saying again and again hump. So the man is calling camel hump thing. So who is that hump thing in the middle of the desert? Or he would have been here by now. So I am going to leave him alone and you must work double time to make up for it. So what the offer man had given to them, to those three animals, that if you will not be able to succeed in make him work, so you will have to do double work. You will have to complete his work also. So that's why these three animals, they are in tension. They were in trouble that how will we work? Already we are doing work and we'll have to do the camel's work also. Now that made the three very angry and they held a panchayat on the edge of the desert. So what did they do? They at the edge of the desert, at the corner of a desert, they just settled a panchayat. Panchayat, you know, a palaver. And the camel came chewing cud and laughed at them. Then he said hump and went away again. So camel also crossed from there. So he was laughing over them that they are doing work and now they have to do my work also. Again he said hump and went away. Presently three come along, the jinn who was in charge of all deserts, rolling in a cloud of dust. So when they all were doing their panchayat there, so that time only a jinn appeared suddenly out of the clouds. Picture is also mentioned there, you may see that side. Okay, so out of the cloud a jinn appeared suddenly, and the jinn of all, who was he? He was the jinn of all the deserts. And he said, that time said the horse, "Is it right for anyone to be idle?" Idle means those who does not do any work, who is to sit free, that is idle. So horse is asking, is it good if anyone is sitting idle? "Certainly not," said the jinn. So jinn replied, "No, it is not good." "Well," said the horse, "there is a thing in the middle of your desert with a long neck and long legs, and he hasn't done a stroke of work since Monday morning. He won't trot." And the horse explained everything in front of the jinn. He said there is a thing in the middle of the desert. That time that name was not given to the camel. So everyone is calling him a thing only. And he is saying that he does not do work. Although he has a long neck and long legs, but he does not use, that is of no use, because he does not actually use them for doing any work. So he is totally idle. Said the jinn, whistling, "That's my camel. What does he say about it?" So the jinn, because he was the jinn of the deserts and he know about every area and about every animal. So he said, okay, that was the camel. I understood about whom you are talking. What does he used to say? He says hum and he won't plow, said the ox. So this time ox replied that he always said hum and he does not plow, he does not do work. Here they are giving different names to the work, whatever they used to do. Horse is saying trot and ox is saying plow. On the other hand, the dog used to say carry things and fetch things and all. Very good, said the jinn. I will hump him if you will kindly wait a minute. So jinn had a solution for that, and the jinn said that okay, you wait for a minute, but if he used to say hump again and again, then I will just settle down this creation of hump. So then the jinn said so and he disappeared from there. So the jinn, he rolled himself up in his dust cloak and took a walk across the desert and found the camel looking at his own reflection in a pool of water. So the jinn, he reached to the camel, and what did he see there? He saw that the camel is looking his own reflection in a pool, in a water pool, and he's just feeling proud on his long neck, on his well-built body. My friend, said the jinn, what's this I hear of your doing no work? So the jinn asked the camel that why not doing any work? I have heard about this. The jinn sat down with his chin in his hand like this, and he sat there only near the camel, and he just repeating the questions again and again that why not doing work? While the camel looked at his own reflection in the pool of water, he was observing actually. The jinn was observing the camel, that the camel is so much proud. Why he is saying so? Because he was happy to see his own reflection in the pool. You have given the 3 extra work ever since Monday morning, all on account of your idleness, said the jinn, and he went on thinking with his chin in his hand. So the jinn, he further said that okay, if you didn't do any work, so since Monday morning you will have to do more work, and that is the punishment for your idleness. For your not doing any work, you will have to do double triple work. So what the camel said? Hum. Again he said this to jinn also. I shouldn't say that again if I were you, said the jinn. You might say it once too often. I want to work. So the jinn said that I don't want to listen that hum. I want that you should say that you want to do work. And the camel said hum. Again he replied the same. So what happened, students? No sooner had he sat than he saw his back, that he was so proud of, puffing up into a great big hump. So as second, third or third time he said hum to the jinn, suddenly what did the camel saw? He saw that his back is raising up. A hump is going to be there, going to made up on his back. He was very much proud of on his long body and on his back, but that was puffing up, that is going up and up. Do you see that, said the jinn? That's your very own hump that you have brought upon your very own self, but not working. Today is Thursday and you have done no work since Monday. When the work began, now you are going to work. So the jinn said, okay, you are saying hump to everyone, so I am presenting you this hump only, and this is your very own hump. And then he assigned the work to the camel, and that's it. How can I, said the camel, with this hump on my back? Again he had made an excuse. I had a big hump on my back. How can I work with this? That has a purpose. Then the jinn, he just gave the purpose also why he had presented that hump to the camel. Said the jinn, all because you missed those 3 days. You will be able to work now for 3 days without eating, because you can live on your hump. And don't you ever say, I never did anything for you. Come out of the desert and go to the tree and behave. So he said, okay, that hump has a purpose actually. It will help you. Instead of make you irritated, it will help you. Now you didn't do work for 3 days, so you can store everything there and that hump. You also know what is the function of camel's hump. So you can store, and without eating, without any food, it will not trouble you. Your thirst will not trouble you. Your appetite will not trouble you. You are easy to be working. So he said, then you will have to work continuously for 3 days with that hump. You can store your food and water in that. And the camel went away to join the three. And after listening that only, the camel went to join the three. Who three? The three other animals who were coming again and again to the camel for insisting that he should do work. And from that day to this, the camel always wears a hump. So that is the reason, although this is not a true story, but yes, folk tale, I have already told you, folk tale is there. So it is given by Rudyard Kipling, and from that time, since that beginning of the world till now, that camel is carrying that big hump on his back. But he has never yet caught up with the 3 days that he missed at the beginning of the world, and he has never yet learned how to behave. And further, according to the writer, till now camel used to be so slow, and he does not work actually as fast as other animals used to do. So he is still carrying the hump. So this was all about the story. And yes, the question answers you will find in the form of your study material, and I'm ending the session here. Thank you.